Hi, it's your coach Joe Lucas, and welcome to this episode of the Magellan Network Show. Welcome to our post Labor Day conversation. And why do I say that? Historically, what I have found is September is a very important month, not so much for regular business stuff, which is always going to be critical, but I find advisors have to make a choice in the month of September about how they're going to play the rest of the year. And here's what I mean by that. Typically, an advisor after Labor Day is going to be in one of three conditions. Condition number one, the one we want, is that we're at or above all of our goals. So our top line's looking good, new households are looking good, asset flow is good, premium's good if that's important to you, household count, like we're, in spite of COVID and despite of the uniqueness of 2020, we have found a way to make it happen. And just as a sidebar conversation quickly, when I have done my mid-year reviews with all my coaching clients, predominantly everybody either is at or within striking distance of their goals for 2020, other than their travel goals, obviously. So if you're in that shape, you've got a choice to make, which is you keep your foot on the gas and you keep moving forward. There's a tendency sometimes, especially we get later into the year here, when you start seeing the holiday decorations show up, that hey, I'm having a good year. I'll take my foot off the gas. There's a term called sandbagging, right? I'll save some stuff for Q1 of 2021. Bad, terrible idea. Creates a lot of bad habits, mindsets. So hey, foot down, we roll at least until December 1st, right? I typically look at this window as you've got September, October, November to get things done. I never want a client going into December having to have a big month. Too many variables, holidays, sometimes and it's very interesting. In my experiences, clients can have either a really good December because of just things that happen with their clients, or it's pretty quiet. So either way, we don't have to have that happen to make our goals for 2020. So if you're having a great year, guess what? Let's stay with it. Let's keep executing. Let's keep staying focused. Let's make things happen. The second condition you're going to be in is it's been a little bit of a mixed bag this year, right? So maybe in some aspects of your game, of your business, you're doing well. In other aspects, it's not been that well, right? For whatever reason. And the one thing I want to say, and this may sound a little controversial, but it's my truth, is that I observe clients for 26 and a half years, but let's say in the last 6 months. And it's really interesting because they're the advisors who have chosen to find the silver lining, to adapt, to overcome, to focus, to make things happen. And they have a different mindset. And if you look at their results so far this year, pretty much spot on, not according to plan, but the results have been where they needed to be. The other half has been the conversation's been, look what's happening. My office is closed. I can't do public events. I can't network. I can't do this. So you have a narrative of here's why I can't be successful this year, or here's why I'm not going to reach my goals. The interesting part for me in where I sit is I can have two advisors, literally, and I have this with the same firm, in the same city, in the same local market conditions, local everything, radically different results. Why? Mindset, approach, bottom line. And one thing, and I don't want to get too much off on a tangent here on the side of this conversation, but here's the reality of what we do. And I'm not going to talk about the technical aspects. You have plenty of people talk to you about that. I'm talking about the success aspects, which is my specialty. Look, the reality is that you have to find a way to always be resilient and to overcome adversity. I've said this for my entire coaching career, which is show me, think about this yourselves. Show me a period of time, 1 quarter, 2 quarters. So not like a long period, just 1 or 2 quarters, where everything was perfect. Markets were perfect. The economy was perfect. Compliance was perfect. They let you do what you want to do. Yeah, your team functioned well. Personal life was great. Energy levels was great. The clients were behaving. You're getting a slew of referrals, like a total utopian situation. Reality doesn't exist. So this is not negative thinking, by the way. A lot of people say, oh, that sounds negative. It's not. It's preparation. If you prepare for winter and you prepare for the struggle and you prepare for adversity, that is not negative thinking. That is mentally getting ready to go play. Because see, I believe anybody can be somewhat successful for short periods of time in good situations. I mean, you just can't, right? The question is, can you sustain it throughout all different environments? And it's been literally 10 years. You go back to the fun of 08, 09, right? Literally a decade, maybe a little more than a decade, where as an industry, we have not really had to deal with the adversity situation, right? And then, yeah, man, we got in heaps and spades this year, right? From March all the way through. So if you're in that midpoint where some things are going well, some things are not going well, you have a choice. You could play out the rest of the year, see what happens, turn your attention to 2021. Or you can go ahead and say, you know what? I'm going to apply myself. I'm going to fix the things that need to be fixed. I'm going to get out of my funk, whatever I got going on, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play a 12-week game. I'm going to play the game from September 15th all the way through the 1st of December. And I'm going to take that window of time, and I'm going to treat it almost like it's its own year, its own period. And whatever happened in the past, it's done. I can't worry about 2021 right now. I got to deploy and execute my game inside of this window. That would be my suggestion if you're in the middle. Now, if you're coming into the third possibility, which is this has just been a year to forget. Pretty much you're in scarcity mode, survival mode. Nothing has gone right. What I would say, again, not knowing you, if you're depending on who's listening and watching, is that now I'm not saying COVID did not add to it. So if you've had great years and all of a sudden this year's not been a great year, then yes, there's been some issues with that. However, if you've struggled year in and year out, and now COVID is just another conversation, another reason why you're not executing and you're not achieving your goals, I'd be careful about that conversation. Because if you're abdicating your responsibility, then that's a problem, right? So if you're coming into not in a good place, I would have you treat the rest of this year, literally September 15th all the way to January 1st, as preparation, practice, preseason, whatever you want to call it, whatever frame you want to put on it, to get your act together and start creating the momentum now for January. Don't sit there and go through the rest of this year and the holidays and January 1st rolls around like, okay, now new year, let me go figure it out. It's got to be better than 2020, right? Don't do it. Everything we do in this business is a 90-day payback. And that's the sucky truth of our game. Now, what do I mean by that? If you say this morning, hey, I'm going to have a habit. And one of my habits is I'm going to go ahead and make sure that instead of talking to 3 or 4 clients a day and prospects, I'm going to talk to 10 or 15 a day. Right? I'll talk to them, I'll message them, whatever I've got to do. But in other words, I want to ramp up my activity. You're not going to see a result. Definitely not in 30 days. Now, if you do, you're lucky, and that's cool. Nothing wrong with that, right? But realistically, activity to money, right? Like in your bank account, 90-day minimum. And as an industry, we tend to have a lot of very impatient people. So that's why I'm saying to you, don't wait till January to then go kick it in the butt and think you're just going to create this instant momentum. It doesn't work the way. Because what typically happens for advisors, and we're all human, is that we'll go down a path, we won't see an immediate result, we'll get frustrated, we'll get bored, and we'll abandon it. And for some of you, that's been your entire career story, starts and stops. The 25-year startup in essence, right? And we want to break that pattern. I coach patience. I coach staying to the plan. I coach, going through and executing, knowing that if you execute, X will be there at the end. Now, in my career, if a person, i.e. an advisor, does what I ask them to do, like once we formulate their game plan and they execute it, it's immutable that they're going to see a result. However, that result is not going to be there in 30 days, 14 days, and 7 days. It's 30 days. It's not. It's just not. And I think that's what, as an industry and as a psychology inside of the industry, we need to be clear of. So again, if you're coming into this rock starring it out, continue to rock star. Set your goals even higher. Challenge yourself the rest of this year. If you're coming in a little iffy, right? Think some things are good, some things are not. I say, you know what? Figure out what you need to do to lock down the gaps. Right? Like take a day or two, figure it out, go execute. And if it's been just a year to forget, then your new game starts September 15th. Pick a day. There's no magical day, right? But don't continue on what we're doing. That's the bottom line. The other thing is that because of what's gone on this year, it's easy to advocate, especially if you're running a team. It's been easy to advocate leadership. So you want to be careful about that. You leaders out there who are running teams, right, who are senior partners and founders, stuff like that. It's easy to get frustrated, basically because things are going to go not normal, right? Maybe your staff is a little disjointed, right? I see a lot that's going on with my clients right now. Schooling and childcare is a big issue, right? Which now some of our team members are having issues, right, with that, and it kind of leaks into our game and stuff like that. So as leaders, not only do you have to be empathetic, but you have to be extremely flexible and make sure that you're not applying the rules pre-COVID in your business to what the reality is. And I heard a lot of that this year. Man, it's just not the way it used to be, or it's different, or whatever. So yeah, no kidding. And this is the way it is till further notice, right? So we better get our heads around it. So what I'm saying here inside of our message for today's episode is that no matter what situation you're in, you have an opportunity and a threat. Opportunity to either keep it going, to tweak it, or to now move. Threat, take your foot off the gas, leave it alone, and then you're going to try to magically, create some momentum in January of 2021. Don't do that. That's what I want to really talk to you guys about today. Okay, one last thing, then we'll get out of here. I also think it's really important that you decide, if you haven't already decided, to how you're going to handle between now and early November, right? We all know noise, rhetoric, and look, this is not a political statement. I'll never make one of these. I love all people. But you've got to decide as a leader, and a leader you have a duality in your leadership. You have a responsibility to your team to lead, and you have a responsibility to your clients to lead. And so just decide how much noise do you want and what you want to tune out, and just decide in advance how you can do that. Because the noise, its rhetoric is already high. It's just going to get louder, right? So make sure that you lock that down, with intention of how you do not need the distraction. All of us have got to be on point with managing ourselves, leading our teams, and leading our clients. You cannot do that effectively if you're on the news all day, or on Facebook all day, or getting caught up in all the other stuff out there. Focus on the things that matter. All right? Thank you for listening and watching this episode of the Magellan Network Show. I have something I want to share with each and every one of you very quickly. I've put together a 60-minute webinar on how to move. What's the methodology? What's the psychology? What are the morning habits? What are the daily habits of my top clients? So there's a link here. It's a freebie. Just got to go sign up, and it'll be the best 60 minutes you've spent in a long time working on yourself and working on your business. Thanks for watching this episode on the Magellan Network Show. So there you have it. If you really enjoyed watching this episode, go ahead and subscribe to the Magellan Network Show with Coach Joe here on YouTube. And remember, I'm always here to help you become a better entrepreneur, business owner, and financial advisor. With that, I'll see you next time on the Magellan Network Show with me, Coach Joe. Take care and goodbye.